Wow. All I can say is that one word because this past week has been just mind blowing, is another word I would use. So this week we had a wonderful woman named Maureen Menard who oversees all the DTS programs in YWAM come to speak to us about being disciplers of Christ, and just it was very convicting and humbling this week because it just made me think of things that I would have never thought about before. Um, so I don't even know how to go into detail about it because it was just so amazing. But I think the one thing that really not convicted me, but really made me think a lot about is that as disciplers, we tend to think that we have this burden, or it is our responsibility to help those that we're discipling to be led to God. And in the grand scheme of things, as a discipler, we have a very small part in that. Ultimately, it's this discipled person's job to their job. And then it's like God is in that completely and is working in their hearts, and then it's the community, and then it's the discipler. So that just kind of transformed my view of, I guess, what a discipler is in a really good way. It just made me realize for when I go into the discipling people, really what my job is that the Lord calls us as the disciple to do. Um, so that is something that just really hit me pretty hard, and just realizing that we are all created in such a unique way, and our gifts and talents are just so unique, and He's going to use those in every aspect, and is just going to pull those strengths out and just have you use them to the best of your abilities. So I could keep talking on it, but I just I just don't even know what else to say, and just realizing that describing who Jesus is to those people who are kind of questionable, just how He is 100% God, 100% human, and that He had to learn Himself that He was partly God. God wasn't just going to be like, oh, by the way, you're God. No, He had the same struggles, the same temptations. Yes, He was 100% God and never sinned, but He still had the same temptations as us. So He could die on that cross to understand and have empathy for what we go through. Because He's like, I was tempted in that. I understand that. But then you sit there and you're like, but you're 100% God. How did you not know that you were God? It still doesn't quite make sense in my mind, so it's really it's just hard. It's hard to understand, but something in me just knows. Like, it was mind blowing, and you're like, wow, that was crazy to think about, but I don't know. I don't know. It just made sense to me. And with that, it just, it makes you realize what you're not doing wrong, but things to work on throughout the week, and realizing that I have such a small part to play, but I have a big part in the community, and just working on that in my relationship with David, and working on that with my relationship with the other people in my class, and just doing that with people on local outreach. I mean, it just really makes you think. It really makes you realize that you do have such a significant part in this, but it's not as big, it's not as, I wouldn't say as big, but it's not as, I guess, big as you would expect your job as a discipler to be. So, it just is starting to make me turn my ideas and realize how I am with other people and talking to other people, and just really pushing them more to work on themselves with God and with the community, but me not being the one to bring all the answers like I tend to think of a discipler as. Um, so it's been a really transforming week. Um, yeah, yeah. It's been a really transforming week, and realizing the small tasks of what a community is, and coming together as a community, and realizing that your job that you have is like really important. Like my job in accounting, it's super important. Otherwise, things don't get done, taxes don't get done, and yeah, we're all part of the body of Christ, and He's called us here according to His purpose, and we're going to do the best we can with the abilities that we can to do it. So, that's what I've learned this week. It's probably could keep going on and on and on about it, but that is the most important thing that I could say, is that it really was a transformational week on so many different levels. And just realizing that, yeah, I don't know, just realizing so many things about myself and about my strengths, and realizing that I'm using those to be a discipler with God ultimately, and with the community. It's not just me. So, yeah, that's all I have for this week. It's been a really amazing week, and I hope this could give you a little sneak peek, a little info on what we've been going through this week about being led by the Spirit and spiritual formation and being a disciple. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, evening. It's evening here. It's 9:15. But, yeah, that's all I got. Okay, bye.